Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Well, as we continue on with Elisha, we jump a few chapters. So last time we were in chapter 9 of 2 Kings, and Elisha had one of the prophets anoint Jehu to be king of Israel. And Jehu wiped out the house of Ahab. And now we come to chapter 13 of 2 Kings. This is where Elisha is about to die. It's his final words. In between, we've had some changes in kings. The Israelites are under attack from the king of Syria, Hazael. You may remember him. And the grandson of Jehu is now the king of Israel. And so he has heard that Elijah is sick and is dying. And so we'll pick it up in 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 14. Now Elisha was suffering from the illness from which he died. Jehoash, king of Israel, that's the grandson of Jehu, went down to see him and wept over him. My father, he cried, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. And so he recognized that Elisha had really been the strength of Israel, not his army, but Elisha as the prophet of the Lord. Elisha said, "Get a bow and some arrows," and he did so. "Take the bow in your hands," he said to the king of Israel. When he had taken it, Elisha put his hands on the king's hands. "Open the east window," he said, and he opened it. "Shoot," Elisha said, and he shot. "The Lord's arrow of victory, the arrow of victory over Aram or Syria," Elisha declared. "You will completely destroy the Arameans of Aphek or at Aphek." And so Elisha is prophesying victory for the king as the king has come to see him, and the king recognizing that Elisha really is their strength, or the Lord is their strength through Elisha. He promises the king victory and has him shoot out the window east in the direction of the Syrians and asserts that victory is his through the Lord. Okay, we go on. Verse 18. Then Elisha said, "Take the arrows," and the king took them. Elisha told him, "Strike the ground." He struck it 3 times and stopped. The man of God was angry with him and said, "You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. Then you would have defeated Aram and completely destroyed it. But now you will defeat it only 3 times. Elisha died and was buried. And so Elisha's last words to the king were to strike the ground with the arrows. And the king struck the ground 3 times and stopped, figured that was enough. And Elisha responded in anger, like, "Why did you stop? You should have struck it at least 5 or 6 times, and your victory would have been complete. But because you stopped, you're only going to have 3 victories." And I've been thinking a little bit about this. Elisha told him to strike the ground, and he did. And yet he stopped when he thought he had struck the ground enough. He should have kept on striking the ground until Elisha said, "That is enough." And so while he listened, he kind of didn't listen fully in terms of he stopped on his own. He stopped too soon instead of just striking and striking and striking until Elisha told him that was enough. And so I've thought about that in terms of you and me. I wonder how often we listen to the Lord and we kind of get started on what the Lord tells us to do, and then we think we've done enough and we stop instead of continuing the action until the Lord says that's enough. I wonder if we do that in terms of ministries that we're involved in. I wonder if we do that in terms of maybe devotional practices that we take up. I wonder if we do that in all kinds of things, to where the Lord tells us to do something, and just like the king, we do it, but also like the king, we stop when we think it's enough. Instead of praying to the Lord, "Lord, should I stop now?" At the very least, the king should have said to Elisha, "How long do you want me to keep striking the ground? I'm willing to strike the ground as long as you want. How long?" And yet he simply stopped. And because he stopped, the victory was incomplete. And those are Elisha's last words. And so I just have those words kind of echoing and that scene echoing. Don't stop too soon. If you think it might be time to stop, whatever it might be, maybe you're teaching a Sunday school class, leading a Bible study, pastoring a church, maybe it's tithing, maybe it's giving to a particular cause, maybe it's your own personal devotion, set prayer time, reading, whatever it might be, whatever the Lord has directed you to do. If you feel like stopping, don't go by your own feelings. Pray about it. Talk to the Lord about it. Ask someone about it. We don't want to be a people that stops too soon. We want our obedience to be complete so that God's victory is complete in our lives and through our lives. And so wherever you find yourself scattered today, keep striking the ground with those arrows until the Lord tells you, okay, that's good. Victory's complete. God bless. Have a great day.